Hi, good evening, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. It is, well, 3 more weeks basically on the day before the deadline of the 2019 finals, so be sure you've got your bot in order before that date and have it fully functioning. So today we are starting out with a replay of, well, not really numbers 2 and 3 anymore. There has been some development about which more later, but we have still 2 of the very top bots. It is Purple Wave as the Red Protoss, and of course Recrutes with the Immaculate SimCity, although this goon is kind of stuck, as the Blue Protoss in the bottom right. Ooh, and we have some shuttle shenanigans coming up out of Purple Wave, and it seems like Purple Wave is going to lead the charge with 3 goons and a zealot, but is now fighting a cannon, and generally speaking that's not the wisest. Zealot almost dead and a goon damage, and here comes another goon, but what is that shuttle doing? Oh, it picked up a Reaver, just spotted that, right on time, and here comes the Cutest with the the goon train of death. Here comes the Reaver, but will the Reaver be able to stop the tide? Yes, 1 good shot, 2 good shots. And Cutest is feeling the heat. Now Purple Wave in pursuit with 2 goons. And the shuttle... Where's the shuttle? Oh, here's the shuttle. The micro could be a little bit primer, but it is the heavy damage from the Reaver which is turning the tide. And now Purple Wave starting the mineral only, and Cutest not yet. So if this... Ooh, if these Scarab Blasts start hitting home... And from time to time... Ooh, that was a really good one. It is... Perhaps I should cast some of the final games in the original Brood War game, because that is... I need to show the kills on this Reaver, which is being so instrumental. There are a lot of damaged goons, and... The mineral only is up for Purple Wave, and Cutest is back at the ramparts. And still the Reaver is there, and even a second Reaver. That is absolutely glorious, and Purple Wave is a little bit hesitant, but still getting it done. Another good shot and a good lift. I think that Photon Ball just missed. And the Reaver still has got full health, and another kill to its name. That is absolutely... Oh, shuttle, where... Oh, dear, that was a bit of a waste. Here comes another shuttle, but it sort of has issues with cannons, and now it kills itself and a Reaver. That was the second shuttle, by the way, so... that was really rather expensive for Purple Wave, but Purple Wave has got map control, and Cutest hasn't started the mineral only, so there is a resource advantage on the side of Purple Wave reflected in the supplies, and this battle is really tight, and the question is, will Purple Wave this time be able to deal with these cannons a little bit better? Meanwhile, the goons of Purple Wave are doing a number on the goons of Recrutes, and that's not every day you see that. So here is another shuttle, but it is a little bit messed up. I think it's in the same control group as the army, as is the Reaver, and that will mean that they retreat in advance along the same lines at the same intervals. But now 2 Reavers and a shuttle with a Reaver might drop one on the high ground, but it's all in one control group, and that is hampering the efficiency of these 2 beautiful beetles of war. And oh dear, you can see though that Purple Wave is getting ahead, even getting another base, and the Cutest is slowly mining out the main, and these Reavers, look at the damage they are doing. 1 cannon is down, the goons are suffering horrendously because they're in this little choke, and even, oh, the gateway will fall with another Scarab hit, a little bit of splash damage more, and now 3 Reavers, so Purple Wave really dishing out the damage by the Scarab load. The gateway falls. Oh, 1 Reaver snuffs it, and Recrutes trying to rebuild for what it's worth, but the main is getting preciously low, and this... Oh, the goons are not the most effective though, so Purple Wave is suffering some losses in the goon versus goon battle, but it's these Reavers which are doing absolutely horrendous amount of damage, and this base is now up. There is no worker transfer, but I think... Ooh, what's that going to be? Oh, Templar Archives, good there. And Purple Wave draws the Cutest a little bit farther out, losing some zealots, but the main for the Cutest is out and out. So 1 base operation versus the map. Main for Purple Wave is out as well, but it has got the mineral only and it has got this base, and now some probes are on the way. And still this destruction. Look at those scarabs hits. Oh, the scarab hits. They are not doing the most damage, but oh, the shuttle is really rather stupid at times. And now Recrutes might even break out with its impeccable Goon Micro. Small peek at the upgrades, both have got range and the +1. Shuttle speed is coming up, that is good, because the shuttles really are a little bit clumsy. Oh, and there is a DT, and surely this must be the end, because there is nothing save a couple of cannons doing the damage, and these goons, they know it. There is a Dark Templar, there is a Reaver, there is another Dark Templar coming up, and the Cutest is going to have a very stiff fight ahead of it. Oh no, the only observer is there for Purple Wave. Purple Wave has got this well under control, could post 1 or 2 cannons at the natural at this expansion, but for now I think this is pretty much over. The army supplies are running wild for Purple Wave. Purple Wave though hasn't got the most army, but it's a lot of zealots and still making more. I think that's pretty strange. But they are keeping the Cutest contained and having a bit of issues with the side boundary of these cannons. But now the heat is on with 2 Reavers. Have we got the Reaver damage upgrade? No, we have not. We have got Storm coming though, but you can see the amount of damage these goons can pour on these poor gateway units of Purple Waves. It is insane, and it's just as good. There are some Reavers in the rear, but this battle is not yet decided, although the natural getting so low, and it's just this 5-1 at this point. It's 10-1, and this was the resistance of the mighty Recrutes. And that said, we haven't seen an update from Recrutes in ages, so might be saving something good for the finals. But in the meanwhile, Purple Wave is hammering it home with 3 Reavers, no more cannons, no more money for Recrutes, and more income everywhere. Couple of upgrades. Oh, here comes the Scarab upgrade, and of course we've got Storm. Have we got Templar at all? Yes, we have got one, but it is a little bit late as there is no more army for Recrutes, and well, in view of that, I am going to call the GG, and going to hop into the theme of this week, which really is some Protoss making the switch to Zerg. That's pretty interesting. And one of those is Banana Brain. Hello, Banana Brain. And I must have the scores, because what we see from the updates while the game is playing, the ELO table looks like this at the moment. Crazier with 2,863, almost 100 points up. Under number 2, that's Seda. Well, it's the same upload really with the name backwards. Then Recrutes, not far behind, 99 points behind Crazio, and then it's a pretty steep drop to Purple Wave, Banana Brain, Crazio Protoss, Xian, Double Z Bot, Halpan, Dachin, Beta Star, and the Zerg are really struggling. Look at that. We've got Cherry Pie coming in at about 11th, then Chimera Bot, Purple Destiny, then Microwave, TCMU Random, Iron Bot, Proxy, Killa Bot, Purple Swarm, and yeah, then Steamhammer. Steamhammer posted a recent update, I think that's a couple of days ago, then Dragon. So you can see the top field is really stacked, and there are very good bots which are, well, basically in the 20th position. Update-wise, what we have seen is Crona, that's the Banana Brain playing Zerg, which is good, and Antigua Zerg as well, and that is going to be pretty interesting. Zerg are working hard. Updates from Steamhammer, Simplicity, Lucas of course still working at it, and Brian Weber. Brian Weber has got some work to do before he can catch up to 1,900 ELO, so that's probably not going to cut it for the finals, but we have got 2 Protoss, namely Banana Brain and Antigua, operating a Zerg bot, and that's very cool, because last year we saw Crazio participate with the Protoss instead of the Terran. I really hope that for this year the Terran will be fielded in the finals, because it's just a monster, and with all the support it's getting from its author Krasimir, it is really I can't really imagine the finals without it. So now we've got Dragon vs Banana Brain, and after that I will show you Crona, which is of course Banana Brain playing Zerg. And for now, TCMU, or Dragon. Dragon is basically cherry pie. Also, that's a Zerg playing Terran by the hands of TSMU. And for TSMU, you'll never know what he is going to do for the finals. If he is going to do anything, retire all his bots, do a something really silly, or just field one of his best macro bots. It is a question, or perhaps, and that might not be bad either. Have the Facebook bot play Cherry Pie in either race, because it's got such a good team of programmers. Oh, and now this push is really ballsy by Dragon, but it's nipped in the bud, or killed with one fell swoop and only one goon lost, so that must be a loss for Dragon. Natural's up though, and Dragon can replenish pretty quickly, because, well, a couple of barracks will mean that. Oh, that's a lot of barracks though. That is going to be interesting to play Bio-ish versus Protoss. Banana Brain, of course, has got a Reaver tech coming up, and that might be a little bit hurtful for these poor Marines to get these 100-125 damage carrots thrown at them. And aside from the Reavers, there is a sizable gateway army. It's almost double that of TSMU's. TSMU has got, of course, siege mode, stim, range, and the +1. I do not know why that stimming is necessary, because there isn't really anything. And here comes an observer. And it is, oh, perhaps that's where the stims come in. Kills the observer. I think that's nice. Oh, now the tanks without any support. The Marines are too far in the rear, but Banana Brain is having issues bringing its entire army with. Here it comes. First tank dies, and it will be all about the tanks. Second tank dies as well. Now the Zealots are in among the Marines. There is one tank in the rear with a bunker, and the grouping of this Dragon with this hybrid play is terribly off. Could be a little bit better, and you see that with the more recently updated Terrans like Iron, like Halpan, Crazio. They have got such a very good grasp of protecting the tanks that it would be very much harder for a bot like Banana Brain exploding all over the map with the map control it has got. Small peek at the upgrades, +1 coming, that's observer speed, that's ridiculous, leg speed, goon range, and storm is coming as well, which might be nice as well. Here come, oh god, another suicidal shuttle, so that's not good. And I think that, here comes another Reaver, but with the tanks and the Marines, with stim, the medics are getting a little bit low on energy, and without the +1, this is a very dangerous, let me tone that down a little bit. Might be a little bit dangerous for Protoss to get to grips with that, because, that's a lot of damage right there with the stim Marines, which already have the +1, and the range, and the body armor is nearly finished, and that will be necessary as well, because these Protoss, although they are a little bit weak compared to the tanks, dish out a fair bit of damage, but it looks like Banana Brain can't really keep up with production, and we'll probably need a couple of good storms or something. But the production tab is looking healthy, and the eco is good, so perhaps it can stem the tide of the Terran Vanguard to this Reaver. Who dares to come to touch with this lone Reaver? And this, generally speaking, is not the best idea to retreat to your natural choke, because the tanks will catch up with you, and once the tanks are there, it will be the devil job to get out. But then the tanks are completely unsupported by the Marines, and now 1, 2, 3 tanks die, and now all of a sudden it's Banana Brain giving chase to the Terran army, and there are Zealots in among the tanks. That is not good. You can see Dragon losing a lot of stuff and a lot of tanks, and that's the worst actually. And Banana Brain taking more and more bases. Here comes another shuttle, but the shuttle micro is pretty bad. Banana Brain keeps losing a lot of shuttles. Minor detail, but pretty clutch, because in these shuttles usually is a high cost unit like a Dark Templar, High Templar, or a Reaver. But once on the home front, oh dear, these Marines with their stim and the medics are going berserk. They must have a lot of energy, but there are a fair amount of medics, so for the time being, this setup is pretty safe. Oh, here comes a carrier and a couple of Reavers. And the Reavers, of course, doing a lot of damage, but they are being outranged by the siege tank. A couple of tanks on the high ground might be nice for Dragon. For now, Banana Brain retreating with a small army deficit, and now it is Dragon's turn to be on the march. There are 2 Reavers, which with their great slowness, slow down the Terran advance, but they do not turn to shoot. And that, I think, is a good waste of 2 Reavers. But here comes the army of Banana Brain with 1 more Reaver, 2 carriers, and of course then the Terran train will be awfully spread out. And you can see, oh nice, Storms, carriers and a Reaver. This might go on the cover or the back cover of a CD box right here. And you can see all these units, double matrix tanks, but in the end there is just too much DPS. Oh, and an Archon as well, this is really beautiful. Where is the Dark Archon and then a battle cruiser, and we have the picture complete. The Terrans are dishing out a fair amount of damage. The Interceptors can't get too much done. Nice flank here with a couple of Zealots on these 2 tanks, which have been in an excellent position versus these goons. And Dragon is clearing the path very beautifully. These Marines are really doing a lot of damage. They have got, oh, the +2/+2 already. And although it's a fairly simple composition, they are doing a lot of damage. The carriers will have to retreat. The Reaver will have to retreat as well. And Banana Brain is regrouping. The thing is that Dragon's main is mined out. The natural's getting low, and then it's only mineral only. And Banana Brain has got the entire map. Most bases will have 2 cannons. This one hasn't. Will be set up. In the meanwhile, this will be, I think, the last push for Dragon. Here comes the army of Banana Brain. The stim's going off. There are 2 tanks. The Reaver's coming to grip. 1, 2 Reavers die. There is 1 more, and I think this victory is so complete that Dragon will not be able to recover. Storms going off left, right, and center. The goons on the march. The shuttle still dying because its logic is rather borked. There are 3 carriers which are doing a lot of damage to everything, and there isn't. Look at these upgrades. That's absolutely insane. Banana Brain pulling all the stops, and these carriers, although they haven't got the largest number of interceptors, they are still keeping submarines occupied while the gateway train catches up. There are 2 Templar with Storm available. Look at this tank. It goes instantly, and the other tank, oh, the poor polar bear is getting stormed as well. That's pretty BM. But now every unit is advancing on the Terran base. The natural is mined out. Banana Brain is in a glorious position eco-wise, and I think that is going to seal the deal. So Banana Brain Protoss really, really strong. As demonstrated here, is approaching max, slugging 20k APM at the enemy, and it's defending with itself with 20k as well. But in the end, it is not going to matter. The army size is 88 versus only 16, and what is there is a pocket of medics, 1 tank, 1 wraith, and no more money in the bank, so that's about it. Now 17 army supply, this tank doing good from the high ground, but SCVs are suffering, and oh, storms going off on the SCVs, on the interceptors, on the zealots, on the bunker even. I don't know if that was intended, but this game is over. So now, without much further ado, let's hop into Crona versus Xiao Jie COG 2019. And of course we know Xiao Jie, it's very, very, very good as a Terran. Pretty high up there in the ranking, so with a couple of updates might even be a contender for one of the prizes, 1 to 3rd. I don't think we actually have prizes, just the Immortal Honor again. But that said, it is a force to be reckoned with, and we see some Hydras moving out from Crona. That's pretty interesting. We have got a Hydra then. Let's see what they're going to do. They kill 1, 2 Marines, and then laying on the pressure. And 1 Vulture, but the Vulture is getting killed as well. And these 3 Hydras, this is a surprisingly effective push with 3 Hydras. Now, oh, 1 gets caught. There is a bunker out there, and now Xiao Jie has got the army to stop this. And the drone count is abysmally low. That's 5 drones. I hope to God there will be drones on the way, because this Hydra push is surely not going to, if it's not backed up with any kind of lurker things. I think build order wise this is pretty interesting. Even have to squeeze in an Overlord, because, and still without a tank, these Hydras might very well bust the Terran. There is 1 tank coming up, there isn't a tank yet, so there may be a timing window, and perhaps Crona is banking on that. Will there be, there aren't any, oh dear, there aren't any drones produced at all. And siege mode is up. And this is the 1 timing, and the Hydras are wavering, so they are not going to succeed. And now it is 30 versus 5 workers, 31, 32. this game is pretty much over. 2 tanks, a full bunker. Will we have upgrade? Well, +1 for mech units is about to finish, and even some mines. So nice build order if you can have it, but I don't really think this is going to work. We've got 3 tanks now, even a Goliath. Nothing more, it's just going to be a Hydra. Oh dear, oh dear. Even the mines and the tanks are just doing away with the Hydras. And you can see that the army supply is about double for Xiao Jie. Well, let's see if he caught minor detail. Might lift that out with a dropship, but I don't know if it's that advanced already. And although the factory did take some damage, now the chase is on and this is over. So with such a short game, can we have another Crona game? Yeah, probably. So let's see, we have that was a Terran. What can we do? Oh, there's Banana Ray now, that's a bit much, I think. Oh, that almost went well. So I've got the replay of that. Probably. Let me see. And that was the game in this one. Have I got the replay? Yes, I accidentally downloaded the replay. Here is the replay of Crona in the second attempt versus Florian Rishu. The bot is called Aya. Factoid, which I have been plugging, so it may already be known to you. That Icebot is based on Aya, and well, there you go. Pretty standard setup with the gate, and oh, now we're getting some more macro play out of Crona. That's good. Lots and lots of drones, not even a single. Oh, there are some lings somewhere. Where are they? Oh, they are here. And that's a lot of drones coming out of Crona. It's already 21, keeping up with the Protoss. That's pretty decent. And the Corsair play is getting nipped in the bud, and now there is a lot of more Zerg knocking at the doors, up the ramp, nice positioning at the ramp, but I think that Protoss doesn't really have enough, and this build order with the Hydras is looking a lot better. So Hydra play may actually be a thing with speed, with range, and Protoss hasn't got the gut, or has got the guts, but hasn't got the force to stop that. One cannon, the cannon is down, and that is Crona with a 3rd base already, with the lair coming up. And that is looking like it's going to be one mean and lean killing machine. So yeah, there we go. Small moment whilst I fix up my archive things. I've got an archive of every game I have casted, and that thing landed in my downloads map. So no, that's Antigua. Where is... yeah, so Antigua launched a Zerg version as well, and I must... the description was pretty good, and I will show it to God. I will show it to you. This is just Banana Brain playing Zerg, and this temporary test to validate a bet. So I'm very curious about that, but I haven't got the time anymore to keep up with all the gossip and the things going on in the scene. So that's very unfortunate. Antigua Protoss, and Antigua Protoss has been deactivated, so this is a little bit of an older game, but throwing up 2 cannons, but not before the scouting drone gets in and sees pretty much everything. And well, Antigua is playing Killa Bot, and Killa Bot going for the ninja expansion, which we know from it. And I haven't heard of Marian, if he's going to oh, gas steel, pretty pro. Killa Bot will probably not be too phased because of this. Is there no, it's just a forge fast expand, so no aggression to follow up. And I don't think Killa will be... oh, Killa, look at that. That's a fair amount of drones, I must say. Now even ahead of the Protoss, even though the Protoss has got 2 Nexuses, so that's quite a lot. But there may even be an upgrade for Killa Bot, and Killa Bot is so very good. It got to the finals last year in a very good round of Zerg versus Zerg, and now we're having some Zealot aggression on the map. Need to slow down a little. Here come the... oh, that's still creep colonies, and where are the bloody Zerglings? There are no Zerglings, and right now, oh, this is going to be pretty painful. 2 drones trying to fight, but there is no money. Even though there is so much, it's all going to infrastructure, and the Zealots are having a field day with the unprotected Sunkens, and there are more zealots coming up. There are only a handful of lings and they're not doing anything. So Antigua with a very good play. Here come more drones, and the bloody Zerglings are too cowardly to help their drones in need, and this is not going good at all for the Zerg. That is Killa Bot falling completely apart and still making drones for reasons best known to itself. This is not going to be a Sunken, so we'll have to restart from one base. Of course, there is a Hydra Den with speed, but right now you've got an army deficit of 2 to 24. You've lost 2 bases. There is still an Overlord, and there are some thingies immediately trying to take another base, but I think that these zealots, with a couple of goons, will just run down these 4 Sunkens. With a couple of Zerg, you can see how effective they are if they are fighting in front of the Sunkens, so this is pretty good. Now Killa Bot trying to sneak a drone out. Drone count still not too bad for one base, another base coming up. And with 4 Sunkens I would plop down another just to be sure, but then you block yourself in. But the Sunkens are doing quite decent damage, losing a couple of drones for no good reason, and there were some lings earlier, but they're all dead, and now the Zealots will have to say in this battle of, the last say in this battle with the Sunkens. This game is completely over, so that's Antigua Protoss with a very nice timing attack. And now let's hop into... where have I got it? Yes, here it is. Antigua Zerg versus Lucas Moravec. And of course I'd like to show you Lucas as well, because Lucas has been plodding along, pushing upgrade after upgrade of its bot, and it's going to be pretty good. So perhaps not entirely fair to let a new Zerg face not a solid opponent like Lucas. Lucas isn't making that many mistakes, but still needs that je ne sais quoi to really get up there in the top 10 and take games of the really good bots. That's a Forge Fast Expand again, Scouting Probe, Scouting Drone, getting in and getting out again, and I think that's a wise choice because you're not really going to see that much. If it's a Forge Fast Expand, there may be DT tech coming up after that, but yeah, that's about it. Now the pool is there and making a handful of Zerglings. The Scouting Probe is going to town on... is going to die actually, just was it taking an egg? I don't know. So 2 bases, couple of Zerglings, Forge Fast Expand with 1 cannon, 1 gate. There is not going to be a Zealot, so this may actually be overrun as there are 8 Lings. Let's see how this pans out, but the Lings don't really want to go and attack, and you can see the occasional drone, but still some Zerglings, so this might still be, although there are more cannons coming up. I think that's 2. Yeah, with 3 cannons you can, and 1 Zealot you can hold off any number of Zerglings. And this is just going to be a little bit of tug of war. The Zealot's not going to venture out too far. That's pretty defensive. Because if the enemy is going to do a Forge Fast Expand, it's only going to have 1 gate and not going to push you very hard for the very near future. And you can see that Antigua, although is playing pretty safe, has got quite a number of drones lined up. It's got 18 versus 22 workers of Lucas, and of course the Overlord is seeing everything, and I think that players should do really something about that scouting, because that's going to be very painful. Now, 1 Zealot getting clipped at the cost of a couple of Lings. That said, the Zealot is more valuable for Protoss, because Protoss only got 1 gateway, although 1 more is coming up. The 3rd base for Antigua Zerg, and Antigua Zerg is not, it's playing, I can't make up my mind at this point, but so far it's playing really cautious and having a good worker to army balance, good macro, and of course Antigua everyone is very knowledgeable about the game, so might actually be pretty decent. And we've got +1 air attack coming in, we've got Hydra speed, Ling speed, +1 armor, that's always nice, and Overlord speed. So I think this is going to be some high level play of Antigua, and the question is, will it be able to pull that off, because that's going to be pretty dangerous. Here comes the Corsair, and I think that must be from what I have seen, the Corsair will find a couple of spores in its way. One Overlord's going to snuff it. Antigua now supply blocked. This is a spore with the Overlord's overhead. That is beautifully done. And I think for the modern Zerg, that's really something. And here come the Hydras. So the Corsair weapon is really not going to do much. They can't really... Oh, that's pretty brave crossing for that Overlord. But, oh, there is no spore in the main. Perhaps that's going to be a spore. Should be. And right now, oh, we've got some Hydra Reaver skirmishing going on. And with 2 Reavers, that is a lot of damage. And these Hydras will have no chance to stay in that fight for very long. Here comes some Scourge. That will be interesting to see as well. We'll need to keep an eye on the Reavers as well. And that is pretty pro Scourge Micro right there. Oh dear, that's a little bit too many. Scourge on one. Oh! All getting stuck on the edge of the map because they want to move both down and to the side, so they're going to get stuck on the edge. That's pretty cute. And that is the best Scourge Micro I have yet seen, and this is again very brave. Will there be air units? There is a... Oh god, there is a Queen. Oh god. And another Scourge. A pair clipping a Ser. Could take another base. And this is very, very brave. That said, that Reaver is doing a lot of damage. Oh, and there is a thingy as well. A Goon. So this can be really costly. The thing to do would be to clip the Goon and then set the Mutas on the shuttle. That is exactly what's happening. This base entirely unprotected. Lucas is slow with the macro. Could with the map control. It has got throw up another Nexus with a couple of cannons and get stuff done. The main is completely unprotected, and a couple of... There aren't all that many Mutas. There are about 6. Not all of them are here. But some workers will die, and the macro situation for Lucas being what it is, it's not all that good. So that's going to be a little bit of a pain point, as we call it in Dutch. That will surely need to be something to work on, and these Mutas are staying in this battle a little bit too long. Lucas is not targeting the weak Mutas. That is something that could be improved upon as well. This Muta heading back home, because there is another Reaver, and Muta production might be a little bit higher. Oh god, ooh. So with an army of 18 supply, the first priority is to get a Defiler mount up. The Mutas seems to have this Reaver under control. The Scourge have got the Sers under control, and Lucas is not taking... Lucas' worker count is pretty low, only got 2 bases. Small peek at the upgrades. Protoss upgrades, not the best. Muta count, not rising. We've got 1 Queen. I wonder what the use of that Queen is. I don't know even where it is. Ultra Cavern, still no bases, so that's a hell of a lot of tech out of 3 base Zerg with an army supply of only 17. And if you were to try this versus a Protoss which had got better army control, Muta defense, you would face at this point, it's now the 12-minute mark, you would face a 60, 70, 80 supply army, and you would never get by with 18. But so far, I think this Queen actually not brood linked. It's parasite something. Yeah, there it. I know the sound. That's pretty pro. I haven't seen that before in Zerg, so that's a nice one for Antigua Zerg. And now comes the next base, and still getting stuck on the edge of the map. That's pretty pro. And these Scourge, they've got a vector which will lead them to the end of the map before they will reach the... That's pretty nice. So now Antigua Zerg trying to defend as well as they can. And Lucas is sort of throwing this game by refusing to take another expansion. Worker count really pretty low, also trying to do a lot of things all at once. That's the shield upgrade. While you've got an army supply that's actually less than the Zergs. That is not good. Oh, safe transfer anyone? No, not yet. And I think, with the Defiler, will we have Swarm, will we have Plague, what will it be? Have we got consume? We have got consume, we have got plague, but it's not actually consuming anything. Might be wise, considering the smallish army size. Here comes the queen. Once. Here comes the consume. Here come the consumes. And now what? A nice swarm. That's always... A Zerg base with a couple of Sunkens and a swarm is one of the most intimidating things you've ever seen. And now this Reaver is killing drones at this base. There is another base up. There is Corsair overhead. And that said, that Antigua's play is really rather refined, but it's struggling to get the play consistently carried out, as there is so much going on in so many different areas. And that's leading to a deconstruction of the worker count of this base. There are 2 mutas, and I think that if you are going to play mutas, you'll need several more and also be a little bit quicker with them. Oh, that last scarab really did some damage. Oh, nice play right there. So Antigua Zerg has got potential, and the question is, how much time and energy will be devoted to maintaining and upgrading it? And another Scourge, I like that. Scourge attack. And Lucas, really... This army is so small, it's a little bit bigger than Zerg's, but at this point you've got Antigua's work count is pretty depressed as well. Now doing something about that, but now the army count is really small as well. Taking yet another base could be a little bit snappier with the... That's 2 shuttles, that's a lot. Where are the mutas? I think that's a really nice touch with the queen and the parasites. What's going to parasite? I think the goon is not high priority enough. And now the Zerg is coming in. And the goons out on their own in the field, that's some bad grouping right there by Lucas. The Scourge are nowhere to be... Oh, there are here. But they are getting stuck on the goons, and these multi-army composition ground and air are bugging out the army control of Antigua Zerg. Antigua Zerg now with the worker lead. Another Defiler coming up. Upgrade-wise, that's a lot of upgrades. Tech-wise, well, that's a lot of tech as well. So, Antigua... Oh, I'm playing this at 1 times speed, I think. Why is this taking so long? But speed it up to 2 times, which is my normal casting speed. Oh god, this Reaver really doing a murderous job. And the Scourge, although they are doing good... Yeah, that was that. And now you can see with the worker lead of Antigua, it's 2-1. It really is 2-1. Nice play, but then the Defiler gets killed. Shoot Burrow. Have we got Burrow? Might be a nice touch, actually. Muta count is not the highest. We've got 1 Ultra, and we've got a hell of a lot of hatches coming up. God, look at that. And the production tab for Zerg is going to explode. The main for Protoss is not yet mined out, will be in the very near future. Upgrades for Protoss aren't all there. Zerg is just ahead in that department. And here comes the Ultra. Oh, here come the Ultras with the speed, with the armor. And right now it's going to be 1 train of death. A last stop, this base. There are a couple of Reavers, a couple of cannons. And you can see... Oh, you can see these balls of... blue balls of death. The Scarabs, and this is a bloody meat grinder, look at that. And, oh dear, the thingies, the Ultras, they can't get in, the Defiler, everything is plagued. This is pretty good for a screenshot, should take that for this this week's video. But in the end, there is just way too much Zerg, and although the Protoss army is doing what it can, it was a really nice setup here with the... and everything burning. I like that blue fire, it's really beautiful. But right now, Lucas without... Oh, the main is sort of there, the natural sort of there, but there's no income, so I venture to guess these are 4 mineral patches. And every unit Protoss loses is 27 army supply. It's doing okay, but the Scarab count, we've got 3 left, and that's about it. That's 2, that's 1. And for some reason, Lucas still has got some income. Oh, coming from the natural now, so can produce a couple of Scarabs more. But now there is nothing to defend the natural, and look at the fell hordes of Zerglings running in with all the upgrades, and look at the production tab of Antigua. That is 160 Zerglings maxing out on bloody Zerglings with a couple of Mutas and 1 Defiler, 1 Queen. And yeah, this is over. So, oh, this is going to be a Zerg to watch, and I can only hope it will get the Zerg the support it deserves from looking at this game, because this is really, really beautiful. And of course, this is the end game army, but the level of play was pretty good. Look at all the upgrades, and yeah, that's the game. What's left for Protoss? No, that was it. So this is really a good addition to the AI pool, and yeah, what can you say? So 3 more games left. Oh yeah, Steamhammer upgrade. Wanted to show you that as well. So Steamhammer is been used as the basis for a lot of bots, but still J. Scott is working on it, and it is a very solid bot still. Will it be snappy enough to be a contender in this year's tournament? Build order wise, it's 9 pool, that's okay, not to get caught off guard. And TSMU Terran just for reference. Though it's pretty good and you need to play a really good game to kill it. But it's not really the fastest or the cheesiest at this point. And Steamhammer lets the enemy scout. It's very quick hatch. And for a Terran that will mean either Lurker or thingies, mutas. So I think starting with an not with an academy, no eBay, that's pretty ballsy, because I think you are going to need to be prepared for that. And defensive setup is pretty nice. Handful of Zerglings, 1 sunken, could be a little bit farther in front here. Another building for SimCity instead of building it here at the main. That might be a thing, and it's always the question of pure AI and decision making on your own versus little tricks to teach a bot. But in the end, a trick is a very good thing to know, and the amount of tricks you know, and also the amount of situations you can do that trick in will be very important. Here come the mutas. The armory is not yet done. But instead of going for the SCV constructing the armory, they are going for the SCVs in the main. Natural is not yet populated, and the worker count for TSMU is plummeting like a brick. Will there be Goliaths? No, there will not be Goliaths. TSMU thinks it needs a bunker and a vulture at this point, and that is probably one of the most expensive decisions ever. And oh dear, this is not good at all. We have 3 vultures on the loose, but without SCV support, this is never ever going to work. And that was the last worker, basically. And this game is over. So, yeah, I want another one. Oh, Steamhammer, we don't know that. Steamhammer. One more game. One more game. What will we do? Versus Grazio, that was the Moo game. Let's play a game against... I have another Lucas game as well. So in the replay viewer, so this game is over. These vultures are never ever going to get through here, and these mutas will just tear this base apart. While more drones are being built, and an Evo Chamber and an Overlord, so... Going to stop with this good game by Steamhammer, bit of a large board drop there by TSMU Terran. And Lucas for one more shot. Oh, need to tone this down a little bit. And we are going to have a scouting unit coming up. And it's what I was going on about was that if you know a lot of tricks and know how to use them well, it is these tricks which constitute a sort of leapfrogging evolution, because evolution is not really gradual. It is one new trait which will give you a large advantage, and then you can bank on that, and then you'll have more of that same species with that trick, and then you'll need another trick or another something or another resistance to another thing which will make you stand out. And I think if you have the trick of blocking your ramp to not get any scouting in your main base at the early stage, that you will be in a good position, and not getting your scouting probe killed would be a good trick as well. So SimCity is another trick like that. If you've got a SimCity, you are so far ahead versus other bots which do not have it. It is a really good advantage, and this... oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, this is not good enough SimCity. One cannon is not cutting it. This is not even a fully committed Zergling attack, although a lot of Zerglings... oh, that's 14 Zerglings, that's sort of committed, but... and the probes need to be pulled before the Zealot dies, but it doesn't, and... look, is going to bite the dust. Its entire base is getting cleaned up, and this will be over very, very quickly. A couple of more Zerglings, Team Hammer pouncing. Yeah, I'd say that Team Hammer would be a contender, but still needs to have some insights into really playing good opponents, and that's the GG. Perhaps might do this game next. I wanted to show you Cherry Pie for the 2017 tournament. Someone uploaded it. It is 2 years old, but it's still a veritable monster, and as the opponent I took Xiao Jie because Xiao Jie is a very good opponent. So Cherry Pie going for a double sudden placement of a hatch, and here comes the scout, and the scout will see everything. But the Zerglings will be on the way. Oh, hello. One Marine coming in. Another Marine being ferried straight over. And there are some Zerglings back at home. These Zerglings should come home, because if there is one Marine, there will probably be more. And Xiao Jie is going to be pretty ballsy, but here comes a Vulture. So sending out Marines on the off chance that the Zerg would be completely undefended. And now rounding up the Zerglings with one Vulture. And I'm sure that there are more Vultures on the way. That said, 2 Vultures versus a lot of things will be, although they might be cornered and take some damage. Ooh, that's a lot of Lings though. But the Vulture micro reigns supreme, and I don't think... oh, one of them got nibbled on, but now you've got 3 Vultures, and Cherry Pie will need to do something about that quickly, because once these Vultures, they do away with the Lings so quickly, and there must be more coming up. You will need either Hydras or Sunkens, and otherwise my boast of Cherry Pie being a very good bot sort of goes completely wrong, and the game will be swiftly taken by Xiao Jie. And that's exactly what happens. So serve me for trying to make a point, and I'm going to do that trick which I did earlier as well. I will have another game of Cherry Pie versus... I need to have a good opponent. I think this was this game. No, screw it. I'm not going to do it. So, being punished for trying to make a point, and Cherry Pie is vulnerable as well. Nice build by Xiao Jie. No more money in the bank for Pie, and that's about it. Last game of the day. It's the number 2 bot of the moment. It's not Hao Pan, it is Seda, which made such a splash last year, has been taken off the ladder. Oh, and one more time the scores as they are now. No, that almost went right. It's Crazio at 2,863, and a lot of points behind that. It's Seda, and then the Cutest, and then the rest. Look at the absence of Zerg. There is really... it's Cherry Pie over there. So if you are going to have a good saltational jump in development for a Zerg, you can do so much damage, because all these Terran and Protoss are so occupied with fighting each other. It is really going to be all about the Zerg, I feel. Oh, Hao Pan going for... oh, and the first Marine is there already. There is a barracks. And there are 2 Marines for... oh dear, even with a bunker rush, that's pretty cruel. And yeah, trying to out-micro bunker, but that is immaculate. Seda with the counter bunker. That is how it is done. That is good, although there is a slight work... no, there isn't a work... there is a work advantage for Seda still. And Seda now going for factory units, namely 1 tank, and siege mode as well. So this bunker on the low ground will be in a worse spot because the tank apparently can just outrange it. And with the worker deficit, that's going to be hard for that one SCV to repair. And especially once two tanks start blasting. A couple of shots on this tank over here, but Seda will break down and now sees the lone barracks. Hao Pan will have the devil of a job, and the Iron Bot Hao Pan faction has been banking on harass for too long, but versus the really top bots, the harass really isn't good enough anymore. Bots like Purple Wave and the Cutest will just shut it down, and now Crazy will shut it down as well. And then you have to play straight up versus a really tough macro bot, and that is not the easiest. So Seda with the quicker expansion, worker lead is nearly 2-to-1, army advantage is there. Tech wise, Hao Pan is trying to do a lot of stuff, mines and cloak. Cloak might be good, but knowing Seda, there are turrets and comsats. So upgrade wise, Seda with the missile range and the production tab, and of course with the worker advantage, the eco advantage for Seda is there. And look at these Goliaths DPSing that barracks from the skies, and I like that. Not really a nice combo line, but in small jumps to keep the grouping in order. And Hao Pan with two tanks is going to have the devil of a job to defend these bridges versus the army of Seda, which is 3 times bigger, and the value is much higher as well because there are so many vultures which haven't got the room to maneuver and lay mines. Third base defended by a nice squad of units is there as well. And this base might be good, but I think since the constructing SCV was killed, that Seda knows about it now. The vultures on the loose with some SCVs might be nice because they are getting low. And now Seda is just going to play the containing game, taking more bases, and these defending units I really like. Although it's taking 8 supply out of your main army, it will prevent any vulture shenanigans. And just 2 Goliaths on the outside, 2 tanks on the inside, and that's pretty much... This is... I don't know, I'm not quite sure about this, because if you were to get a drop, I don't know if that's going to happen in TVT. That would be pretty painful. So, that is really nice. I don't know where they are going, but a double dropship play is good, and that is something which I expect to see from a 3 dropship play. Are they going for repairs, or now they're going off on a mission again? The resistance has been broken though, because the National Command Center is dead before these shuttles will even reach the base. And Hao Pan's main is mined out, so Seda is pretty good, but still... And now the dropship is going back again. So Seda, a force to be reckoned with, and this was really the game. So the point I was trying to make, that Cherry Pie could still be a contender for a major title if it received an update and was reactivated again, because the team behind it, with Dan Gand and TSC and Gabriel Sinev, is just so good. But that goes for a lot of bots. In the meanwhile, it is going to be Crazio, Purple Wave, and of course Seda, if it's going to play this tournament like this. It's pretty strong, as you can see. So thank you for everyone who has been coding these beautiful bots. Next 2 weeks, Shonko will take the mic, as after that he'll be on a holiday, and I'll do the 2 ones after that. 22nd of December will be the deadline for the main tournament, so be sure not to miss that. This is the GG, and these were the games. Hope you enjoyed them. Hope to see you again in 3 weeks. Goodbye.